Okay, the third sorting algorithm that we're going to look at is shell sort, and this is traditionally the most fiddly. Okay, so I'm going to be starting with 8 numbers here. 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 1, 5, 6 that I want to put into ascending order. First thing to notice is that there are 8 numbers. So what I'm going to first do is I'm going to take the 8 numbers, okay, and I'm going to halve that and get to 4. So that tells me that I need to split these 8 numbers into 4 separate groups. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to write 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 1, 5, 6. This is how I'm going to split them. Okay, into 4 pairs, 4 groups of 2. Now I'm going to compare the 7 and the 8. Okay, 7 and the 8, so 7 is obviously less than 8, so I wrote 7, 8. Notice how I'm retaining the order. I'm going to compare the 2 and the 1, so 1 needs to go first, then 2. 5 and 3, so 3, then 5. 4 and 6, or 4, then 6. I have made 4 comparisons there already. Okay, so 4 comparisons. I'm just going to circle them to denote comparisons. So now, what I did have, I split them into 4 groups, and now I'm going to take 4, half that, and that's telling me that I need to now split it into 2 groups. Okay, so I'm going to write, so I'm just going to change the colour first. There we are. Okay, so we're going to write 7, 1, 3, 4. Notice how I'm spacing the numbers out. Okay, 2, 5, and 6. Okay, so I've now split them into 2 separate groups. This one, the upper one, and the lower one. Okay, so what I can do here is I can now shuttle sort the top and shuttle sort the bottom. So this is what we've got. We've got the 7385 in one group and the 1426 in the other. I am now going to shuttle sort the top list, 7385. Okay, so shuttle sort the 7 and 3 first. Okay, so compare them. 3 will go first, then the 7. Now I'm dropping down to include the 8. Okay, now I'm going to look at the 7 and the 8. So compare them. No swap needs to be made there. Finally, compare the 5 and the 8. Okay, now they will need to swap, so I need to compare with the 7, and I will also need to compare with the 3. Okay, because the 7 and the 5 will swap, so I need to compare with the 3. So I'm going to end up with 3, 5, 7, and 8. Okay, so I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 comparisons with that sort. Okay, now I'm going to shuttle sort the bottom list. 1, 4, 2, 6. Okay, so first I'm going to look at 1 and 4. They're in the correct order, so I don't need to move them. So 1, 4, 2, 6. I drop down to include the 2. Compare the 2 and the 4. A swap is going to need to be made, so I'm going to have to compare the 2 with the 1. So we're going to have 1, 2, 4, 6. Drop down to include the 6. Okay, compare the 4 and the 6. No swap needs to be made there. So I've got 1, 2, 4, 6. And with this sort I made 1, 2, 3, 4 comparisons. 4 comparisons there. Okay? Okay, so now I've just moved our 2 shuttle sorts over to the right hand side, so I have a little bit of space. Now I have sorted the top list into 3, 5, 7 and 8. So I write 3, 5, 7, 8 underneath where they appear. Okay? And the second list was sorted into 1, 2, 4, 6. Okay? So now what I can do is I can drop these 2 lists into one big list. So we've got 3, 1, 5, 2, 7, 4, 8, 6. Now these numbers are still not in order. Okay? And I cannot then go and say, well, we had 2 groups, so half of 2 is now 1 group. We're down to that 1 group now. So now I've got to shuttle sort that final group. Okay, so that is what we are going to do next. So the last thing we now need to do is shuttle sort 3, 1, 5, 2, 7, 4, 8, and 6. Okay? So first off, I'm going to look at the 3 and the 1. Okay, so that's going to be my first comparison. So we get 1, 3, 5. Okay, drop down a level. Now I'm going to start cheating here. Sorry, I'm going to start cheating here. Well, I'm not going to be writing in all of the numbers as I go. It's just going to save time and my wrist at this rate. Okay, so we got 3 and the 5. That's the next comparison. No swaps need to be made there. Okay, so we drop down to include the 2. Well, now you can see that comparing 5 and the 2, there is going to be a swap. So I'm now going to need to compare the 2 both with the 3 and with the 1. Okay? So 1 is less than 2, so 2 is going to get put between the 3 and the 1 and the 3, sorry. Now I'm dropping down to include the 7. Okay, we'll change to red. I'm going to look at the 5 and the 7. No swaps need to be made there. So I can write 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and now I drop down to include the 4. Okay, I'm going to look at the 4 and the 7 now. Now the 4 and the 7 are going to need to be swapped, so I'm going to need to compare the 4 with the 5, which will require a swap, and the 4 with the 3. Now that won't require a swap, so I can stop there, stop the comparisons. So my list is looking now like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and now I'm dropping down to include the 8. Okay, I'm now going to compare the 8 and the 7. Okay, no swap needs to be made there. So I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 6. Drop down to include the 6, the last number in the list. Okay, compare the 8 and the 6. Now that's going to require a swap, so I'm going to need to compare the 6 with the 7. That's going to require a swap. Then compare the 6 with the 5. That won't require a swap, so I can stop there. So my final list looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and in this final shuttle sort I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 comparisons. Okay, so we've made 13 comparisons in the final shuttle. Now we made 4 comparisons, if you remember, to start with. Okay, then we made how many did we make? We made we made 5 comparisons with the first shuttle sort that we looked at. Then we made another 4 comparisons with the second shuttle sort, and with the final shuttle sort we made 13. So 4, 9, 13, 26 comparisons in total were required. Okay, so as you can see, the shell sort, is a little bit fiddly. Takes some getting used to, but it's only using the techniques of shuttle sort that we should already know.